thank you to staff for your thorough, detailed work on this MOU. In the interest of time, there's been a lot of really great things said, so I won't repeat the many comments that I also am on board with. I did have a couple of questions, first a comment. In the MOU here, it says the project is to provide permanent supportive housing to senior individuals and families experiencing or at risk of homelessness. So that doesn't necessarily guarantee that they've been in another program first. Not everybody needs that. And the case managers and the organizations that do this evaluation are very skilled and experienced. This is their field of deciding if someone is ready for permanent housing and are qualified to put people in there that are going to be successful. And the at risk of homelessness also means there could be people who get placed there before they become homeless to prevent them having to be homeless. So I think that's helpful in understanding the population and the placement process. I want this to be a very thorough MOU, but, you know, Councilmember Goodman was talking about trust. And I know through this process that we've been through, there's been a lot that's happened that's created lack of trust. So I hope we can work together to create an MOU that gives us a foundation to build that trust moving forward. Somewhat along those lines, one of the things that stood out to me, was there at any point it said that this was going to be 100% sober living environment? Is that an intention of the county?
I do not know one way or the other.
They have not made a
They have not
statement to
made
that point. I don't know if
Okay.
they've made that determination at this time.
Okay. At any point, was there discussion that it would be a high volume of people in recovery that would need a sober living environment?
The term that they used was that this was for families and seniors. They didn't get into substance abuse, conditions, mental health. That's the only terminology that we've heard.
Okay.
Well, I mean, just for background.
Yeah.
What I recollect hearing is that this is also units for people that are ready to take the next step for independent living.
Mm-hmm.
And so this was that next phase.
Okay. You know, I understand illegal drugs are illegal drugs, but putting the prohibition of alcohol in the property, I'm actually curious if that's even legal to do if it's not a sober living environment, and curious if there's any other buildings in the city of Millbrae or in San Mateo County that's not a sober living environment where residents would have that prohibition as part of their living environment. I do have a concern that that's based on our stereotypes and judgments of the folks that would be living there. And we made a point of saying we put in non-discriminatory clauses. And, you know, if this isn't as a way to support people in recovery, then it can come across as discriminatory. Just another question, there was some of the items that you mentioned in the slides that I didn't see in here. Is that because we're going to negotiate that first and then put the language in? Because there's some language that's edited and then some things that are not, like we talked about community members, and I didn't see that, or we
The
talked about
community
number of
members is going
units
to
and I
be
didn't
added.
see that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And
some
you
of
are
it just
correct
is
that
still
that
to be
wasn't in
added?
the draft.
Okay, I just wanted to make
That
sure
will
I
be
wasn't
added,
missing
yes.
anything.
Yes,
Okay.
that will be added, and we've spoken with Ed, who's on the horn, about adding that, but we want to make sure that that was a recommendation as well.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.